to Recovering Addicts. My name is Jake, and I am a recovering substance user. I am here yet again. I'm unprepared. I sort of choked there a little bit. Sorry. Very tired today. Started a new job. So anyway, I welcome. We have Brad, Merk, Dez, and Jeanette and Jester in the chat so far. Brad, good job being first. You know, Dez, did you get that knife I sent you? So thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. We got Kyle, Michelle Hapel Levine Martin is here as well. Again with the Merc. John, good to see you, John. It was good seeing you a little bit ago in that surprise video call for Cherie. So tonight we're going to continue our journey into The Connected Child, Steve, a book about trust-based relational intervention. 20 years of scientific research has gone into the creation of this system. It is a parenting method for children from hard places, children with histories of abuse, trauma, and neglect, but also stressful pregnancy, premature birth, and early hospitalizations also come into play for these children with sensory processing issues. But first, I thought I would read the 24 hours a day. Today is not the 15th of January. It is the 14th. I keep forgetting that. So the AA thought for the day. When we first came into AA, a sober life seemed strange. We wondered what life could possibly be like without ever taking a drink. At first, a sober life seemed unnatural, but the longer we're in AA, the more natural this way of life seems. And now we know that the life we're living in AA, the sobriety, the fellowship, the faith in God, and the trying to help each other, is the most natural way we could possibly live. Do I believe it's the way God wants me to live? Excuse me. FB. Oh, goes that. Oh, we got Petey. Petey from Mississippi. I think that's the one. Claiborne. How goes it? How goes it? The meditation for the day. I will learn to overcome myself because every blow to selfishness is used to shape the real, eternal, unperishable me. As I overcome myself, I gain that power which God releases in my soul, and I too will be victorious. It is not the difficulties of life that I have to conquer so much as my own selfishness. And then our prayer. I pray that I may obey God and walk with him and listen to him. I pray that I may strive to overcome my own selfishness. You know, remember, this is a God of your own understanding. So, however your God self-identifies, you know, that's entirely up to you. Good evening, Tracy. Okay. Oh. Would you like me to read my tomorrow's thought for the day? Because I will, if you would like to hear my announcer voice there, Des. You know, how is everyone's recovery doing today? You know, what have you done for your recovery today? Like, I'd like to see what the chat has to say about that. You know, that would be wonderful. Sober Ob You missed me last week. I was here last week. How the hell are you? How are you doing? Okay. I believe last week we finished the importance of attachment. I believe that's what it was. Oh, right on. Thank you. But outside of your normal Thursday at 8 p.m. routine, what have you done for your recovery there, Jeanette? You know, um, okay. So I do believe that we finished the importance of attachment. Just got out of IOP. Right on, Anthony. Right on. Absolutely, Aubrey. Kyle. Hey, that's 60 days. Is that today? 60 days today? I think we have a video for that. I know we have a video for that. We threatened to play it several times for people that have years. Absolutely. You know, it always gets better. Like, I tried doing it for my kids for a long time, and I had some success, but I inevitably would go back out because I wasn't addressing myself. I wasn't working on my own demons, you know, conquering them, or just at least not even necessarily conquering them, but coming to terms with the fact that they exist. You know, that was the thing. Just accepting those parts of me that I found unsavory, and turning those weaknesses into strengths. You know, you hit it with a hammer and forge your strengths. What's wrong with your wife, sir? Aubrey, what's wrong with your wife? Okay. Soupy. We got Leslie. Leslie, yes, very nice. Hello. Jim? Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted. So the second year of life is the header for this next section. During the second year of life, a child tests boundaries. He or she instinctively tries to find out who is in charge. In a healthy home, a child's explorations will confirm that adults are in charge and trustworthy. With the guidance of stable, loving, and responsive parents, the child's brain can make profound leaps in processing language and social situations appropriately. If a child has neglectful or abusive caretakers, the youngster will soon learn to trust no one but himself. His social skills will suffer, and he will not learn how to respect boundaries. Deprived and harmed children may also face tangible physical dangers. For example, if an irritable caretaker tries to quiet a fussy baby by shaking or striking her, this child can suffer permanent brain damage. You know, I always read this. You know, it's the first time I'm reading this, so like I'm like, oh, like I'm enjoying reading this, but then I like, oh, there gets to be points where I'm like, I should have used a different tone when I read that one. So research tells us that children who experience loss or rejection by their own families, that's a microphone touching me, can feel concrete physical pain from that social exclusion. Children who haven't been touched regularly and safely may grow to be isolated and alienated from other people, and they may behave more aggressively as they get older. We have a little subsection, a little gray box. If your special needs adopted child had been held often and affectionately as a baby, been fed and nurtured regularly, an early caretaker who was sensitive to his signals, an early caretaker who was respectful of his boundaries, an early caretaker who was interactive and responsive, your child would have become securely attached and able to bond and connect with his family, respond appropriately to adults, make friends and interact sociably with other kids, stay with a game or a task enthusiastically, learn and ask for help. To develop attachment skills, your child will need loads of extra affection and kindness, appropriate rules, structure, and boundaries, varied exercise and sensory enrichment activities, cuddling, feeding, and rocking, lessons in how families stick together, and lessons in treating people with kindness and respect. The next sections, the past affects the future. Healthy parental love, care, and affection from a child's earliest moments are vital for the child to develop in the essential ways. Without close and nurturing contact from another human being, it becomes physically impossible for youngsters to develop optimally healthy bodies and minds. A child who missed out on nurturing from the start has an entirely different developmental trajectory than a youngster who never faced prenatal toxins or early starvation, isolation, neglect, abuse, or trauma. If these children had been cradled in their mother's arms, cherished and cuddled and well cared for from the beginning, they'd be well equipped to learn, love, and grow. Your job as parents is to help these children get what they missed before they came home so they can heal and make the most of their own magnificent potential. And then we move on to chapter 3. And I would just like to, those who have been, watching, for the duration or just coming in, I'd like to just speak that this was written for foster children, children from adopted internationally, and so those are the children who have the main focus of this book. But I feel that it's relevant to our recovery community because whether we realized it or not, whether we we were addicted and our behaviors had an effect on our children, and they very well could have difficulties, developmental trauma, because of our behaviors. And I'm speaking very generally. I know that my children have issues that are very apparent to me from learning about this, and I know that I had a hand in that, and I set my ego aside, accepted my part, and that's why I am passionate about this, because I'm making a living amends for my addictive behavior, and to my family and my children and the people that I love and the people that love me. And the first step to doing that is accepting that I wasn't always the greatest. I've come a long way, and I still have work to do. But this helps, because my children came from a hard place, and I was part of building that hard place. So, chapter 3: solving the puzzle of difficult behavior. Hey, baby, you want to come say hi to the internet? Come here. We have 21 friends watching. The camera's
Goodbye.
right here. Goodbye, baby. I love you. Okay. Solving the puzzle of difficult behavior. Adopted and foster children deserve deep compassion and respect for what they have endured before they were welcomed into your home. Some of these little ones have survived ordeals that defy the imagination. On a night while you ate steak and fresh vegetables, safe in your comfortable house and enjoying warm conversation with your family, this child might have gone to bed hungry, dirty, and lonely, even rummaging in garbage cans for food. Jeanette, with this being said, I wanted to recommend another book that dives into hands on activities to do to strengthen these bonds and also for sensory kids. Play Therapy Activities by Melissa Levine. Thank you, Jeanette. I'm going to ask if LT, if you put the link to this book in the description or however that works. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. And I need to play therapy activities. I don't have anything to write that down. A child raised in a harsh or dysfunctional environment becomes a survivalist. He or she can't be expected to know the rules of family life or to have every intellectual advantage. The difficult history of these children means that you, as a caretaker, have to work harder to understand and address their unique deficits and make a conscious effort to help them learn the skills they need at home with a caring family. Thank you, Aubrey. Certainly, your children may exhibit manipulative or assertive behavior, but instead of faulting them for it, respect that it enabled them to survive and cope in profoundly difficult circumstances. I'm going to take just a moment to write down that play. Where did it go? Do. I don't know where that went. Will you please post in the chat the title of that book again for me, please, Jeanette? Bookmark. Okay, play therapy activities. Play therapy activities. This table is wobbly. Melissa. Excellent. Thank you. So there is another little subsection. You think, I don't know, that seems out of place. 33, 34. Okay. You think that it is a wonderful thing to adopt a child from a country like that. You know they're going in there. You know going in there are problems, but you don't have a clue what you are dealing with. You consult with professionals and finally realize that this little guy is just seeking and looking and disconnected in so many places. There are so many dynamics that there that until you learn them, you can't help that child. As a parent, you do the best you can, but without knowledge, you are dead in the water. Mother of a child adopted at 18 months from an Eastern European orphanage. I guess we have testimonials in this book a little bit. It can take time for adoptive parents to glimpse the full depth of the harm their child may have endured in his or her former life and how it connects to the challenges he or she faces today. Adopted and foster children can bring with them abandonment, loss, and grief issues, attachment dysfunctions, neurological alterations, cognitive impairments, coordination and motor skill problems, sensory processing deficits, fear, anger, flashbacks and post-traumatic stress, shame, anxiety, and depression. Ironically, babies with the most obvious physical and mental impairments can fare better later in life because teachers and parents immediately recognize that something is wrong and make accommodations. When prenatal or postnatal damage is more subtle, the resulting impairments are harder to recognize, so adults are less likely to be compassionate and helpful about the challenges these children face. When your child appears physically perfect, it's easy to erroneously assume that his or her poor behavior is willful and intentional. Put aside your preconceived expectations about your child's behavior relative to his or her age. At-risk adopted children may appear to be a certain age physically, but inside they are playing catch-up emotionally, behaviorally, and developmentally. They are still healing from old wounds that are invisible to our eyes. Not only have these children lost out on months or years of healthy developmental growth, but now they also have to unlearn the unhealthy strategies they've become accustomed to using. If you remain mindful of a child's unique history and how early growth was disrupted, you can even admire the strength that allowed this little child to survive adversity and have compassion for the ongoing struggles he faces. It's important to respect the neurological impairments and deep fear that drive disruptive and maladaptive behaviors. By gaining a deeper understanding of what motivates your child, you'll be in a better position to support your child's healing. Whew. Next section is solving the puzzle. Michelle says, I had no idea some of my difficulties stem from my treatment as a child. I know my parents did the best they could, so it bothers me to hear this. Well, as I said earlier, sometimes people don't realize. Sometimes parents don't realize, and I don't know. I'm not, and in no way am I implying that your parents were abusive or neglectful or anything of that sort, because you very well could have like these issues regardless of, your parents. There's so many other factors, but, specifically for this. Oh,
Love you.
well, hey, Drake. Gotti. There's so many other factors that lead to problems later in life that I don't have time to address. But a word from our sponsor.
Everybody, it's Steve Henry from The Steve Henry Show, and I've got a special offer for those that are in recovering addict. This is an amazing program, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that has actually subscribed or become a member of this amazing organization, I'm going to give away another card. Yes, that's right, another one. Can you believe it? Anybody, this is all you got to do. You got to be 18. Yeah, you can't live in Guam. You got to live here, and you got to be a member of this fascinating recovering addict organization. I want you to go and actually hit the subscribe button on The Steve Henry Show and become an actual winner. You can win it now.
So if you want to win this car, you have to be a member of Recovering Addict. Then you got to go subscribe to the new Steve Henry Show on YouTube. Links are in below. Go there, subscribe, tell him Recovering Addict sent you. He's going to reach out, contact you, get your information, put you in for this drawing. And in February, end of February, March's time frame, somebody's going to win a car absolutely free, no purchase necessary. This isn't a joke. He's done it before. Go look at all his videos. You'll see. Hit that subscribe, like, obviously ring that bell. You need to stay notified. He's got videos coming out all the time and possibly more cars to win in the future. So stay tuned.
That's right. Go to the comment section and I will reply to each and every one of you coming over from Recovering Addict. Every one of you.
There we go. Make sure that you like this video, share it out as well. You know, Michelle, a doctor tried to give me a book when I was in my teens, but I think I just don't want to believe it's true. I think it's time I accept and heal. Appreciate this book, Jake. Well, you know, I appreciate you, Michelle. You know, this, I use this system. I use this system with Drake, and I use this system with Cameron, you know, and I see results. Like they're, and it's not even, that's not the right word. I see healing. My children are healing. And that's a big deal. And I am tired. I am emotionally tired. And I'm tired and I'm emotional as a result of being tired. That's what's going on. So solving the puzzle. In chapter 2, we looked at some of the points at which developmental problems can begin. Knowing your child's background is a good place to start pinpointing which problems may affect him or her. What is it?
Running better.
Oh, after the stream.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
You're still alive, you know.
I am still live, yes. And the internet knows we are having brownies this evening.
Thousands of people know that.
Thousands
And
of
now
people.
I'm on.
Thousands of 17 people. I can hear laughter in the background. Knowing your child's background is a good place to start pinpointing which problems may affect him or her. But it will also take detective work to sort through the threads of intertwined behavioral, physical, and cognitive challenges at play. Table 3.1 on the next page gives you some ideas of the variety of unspoken messages behind difficult behavior. The following sections give you further insight into the symptoms and challenges associated with certain backgrounds and disorders. Not every child will display every symptom. And there, okay, gotta skip a couple pages. And there is overlap among these conditions. These lists are not intended to be a negative judgment or on vulnerable children, but rather to increase your understanding and enable you to respond compassionately and realistically to the child in your care. I'm considering I will take a picture of this and post it in the Discord after the stream. I believe everyone, I don't know. If you're on the Discord, you'll be able to find it on the Discord. I believe I will also post it in the Facebook group for anyone who may be interested in viewing this chart. Should probably write a note. Picture, a chart, and post this and Facebook. Okay. Children raised in an impoverished environment. When a child faces early deprivation or impoverishment, his behavior and physical symptoms may include food hoarding issues and fear of starvation from not having had enough to eat, flattened back of the head from lying on his back in a crib excessively, crossed eyes from staring at the ceiling for hours, varying degrees of sensory processing disorders from lack of stimulation in the environment and lack of being held, lack of interpersonal bonding and attachment skills, lack of empathy for others because of lack of a nurturing and attentive caregiver. Jeanette, wait, I saw what page? It's on page 36, Jeanette. Table 3.1, unspoken messages behind a child's behavior. Self-comforting, repetitive physical behaviors such as rocking, stroking her own hair, thumb sucking, keeping a binky with her, tapping an area of her body, which serve to self-medicate ongoing anxiety and compensate for lack of nurturing, holding, or emotional comfort. Fearfulness of new places and people, which can be revealed in dilated or constricted pupils. Rapid pulse, hyperactivity, running away often, being controlling, or speaking in a baby voice. People-pleasing behaviors, manipulation or triangulation, playing one adult against another to get needs met, which may be a habit for a child who had to curry favor to earn extra attention from orphanage attendants. Indiscriminate friendliness, approaching strangers inappropriately, which may be due to unmet needs for touch and due to lack of attachment. High threshold for pain due to lack of attachment, sensory deprivation, and elevated stress hormone cortisol. Smaller height and weight than average due to early malnutrition or prenatal exposure to drugs or alcohol. Language processing and learning delays due to lack of attachment, sensory deprivation, or elevated stress. Hearing loss due to chronic untreated ear infections. And then next section, sensory processing disorder. For children with sensory processing dysfunctions, the world is never safe or predictable. These youngsters live in a state of continual disorientation. It's as if they're perpetually going from sea legs to land legs or in a house of mirrors at an amusement park. The world is distorted and cues are easily misread. Their systems are essentially miscalibrated from lack of experience. Some children react by seeking out more of a particular sensation. Others avoid that sensation at all costs. Some children both avoid and seek it. Yes, LT. Yes, that would be wonderful. We're going to have a special guest, here in a moment to read the daily reflections, because I am not privileged enough to have Cassie time during my time slot. That was me I was trying to be funny. So let's do. I lost my place. World is distorted. So, okay. Children with sensory processing disorder are prone to delayed physical development or language skills. Your child may also be distressed by heightened or raucous sounds, reactive to perfumes and other odors, agitated by vibrant and lively visual images and scenes, averse to many tastes and food textures, awkward or fearful about moving or being held, clumsy, lacking balance and coordination, distractible or whiny, afraid of new things, often saying, "I can't," aggressive, often lashing out and saying, "I won't," unusually active or inactive or both, prone to unpredictable outbursts or withdrawals, unwilling to wear certain clothes, unwilling to eat certain foods, oversensitive or undersensitive to touch, unable to participate in team sports, disoriented when their head is raised and lowered. You may notice that your sensory challenged child uses fingertips rather than whole hands to manipulate objects, avoids or craves getting their hands dirty, has problems in using and coordinating both sides of the body, encounters difficulty in organizing academic tasks, copying from the blackboard or following teacher's instructions, is prone to hang limply in your arms like a little sack of potatoes when carried, has a behavioral meltdown just from getting bumped by other children in a line at school. Okay, and just so you're all aware, the next one will be covering sexual abuse. So let's get the daily reflections tonight, and then we will read that next section. It's fairly short. So.
What up, everybody? What's up, Jake? You're doing a good job, brother. I know you're freaking whooped starting that new job and all that. I heard you laid a bunch of pipe and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, ooh, I did stuck on your Just kidding.
18-inch storm drain,
Okay.
some isometric holds, hundreds of front shovel raises.
French.
Did some sledgehammer work.
That's good for the soul.
It is. I came home muddy.
Hi, Jeanette. Yeah, we had a good meeting. I don't know if anybody knows this, but in the Discord, we are actually running daily meetings at 1:00 p.m. All you do is jump in the Discord, and there's a meeting chat. You jump in there, and whammo, we have an hour-long meeting. Today, we covered post-acute withdrawal syndrome, the symptoms of that, and I just want to read a sentence out of that, and then we'll get into the daily reflection. I'll try to give Jake a good break here. I know how it is when you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh my gosh, 20 more minutes and I still got to keep talking. It's not easy to do. But it says about stressful situations, because stressful situations can trigger you, especially when you're going through post-acute withdrawal syndrome, right? You have possibly more than 2 years of trying to get your brain rewired back to normal, your health back into shape. And in the meantime, it's throwing you for a loop, right? Sometimes reality isn't what it seems and you perceive things wrong and emotionally wrong. So since you cannot remove yourself from a stressful situation, you need to prepare yourself to handle them when they occur. It's not the situation that makes you go to pieces. It's the reaction to the situation, right? Life on life. We just got to learn how to handle life on life's terms. And I just thought that was kind of cool. Good thing to remember. Claiborne, what's up, dog? Brad said Jake with a heart. He loves you.
What up, Brad?
They have some. All you got to do is call SOAR. I'm sure they'd get you one, or I can get you one. All right. Daily reflections. I love this because it's no regrets. When we first get into AA or NA, or it's anonymous, right? We don't want to talk about it. We're ashamed to tell our employer, we don't, our past guilt just buries us, right? But steps 4 and 5 keep us rocking. So listen to this for January 14th, page 22. No regrets. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83. Once I became sober, I began to see how wasteful my life had been, and I experienced overwhelming guilt and feelings of regret. Ugh. Can anybody relate to that? Me. The program's 4th and 5th steps assisted me enormously in healing these troubled regrets. I learned that my self-centeredness and dishonesty stemmed largely from my drinking, and that I drank because I was an alcoholic. Now I see how even the most distasteful past experiences can turn to gold, because as a sober alcoholic, I can share them to help my fellow alcoholics, particularly newcomers. Sober for several years in AA, I no longer regret the past. I am simply grateful to be conscious of God's love and of the help I can give to the others in the fellowship. Bada boom, bada bing. How many of you can relate to that? To where now you look back at your past and go, no regrets. It's only positive gold, helping others out. Jeanette says, just awesome. So much information. I can't wait to have the opportunity not only to apply it in my own life, but also to help teach those who can apply it to their own lives. Amen. And that helps keep you sober. when you help somebody else and the joy is overwhelming. What's up, Jim? 81111. It's bomb.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Wait, who said they had 60? Oh, Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle said he had 60 days.
Yeah. 60 days since his relapse. It was a good relapse. I mean, nothing. You never have to relapse. Relapse is not a part of recovery, right? It does not have to be a part of your recovery. But he had a relapse and it opened his eyes. You know, he has some shit to dig out of now, but it was 60 days ago. And now he's, like you saw earlier in his comments, doing it for him, you know? Like you said earlier, you tried to do it for people would tell me, don't you love your kids? Don't you love your wife? Do it for them. And it's like, yeah, I do, but I love drinking more, if I want to be honest about it.
Well, you know, and I sort of had like the same thing. Like my daughter, she would say some things like, if you loved me, you wouldn't do this. And I'm like, I did this and I still love you.
Yeah.
I stopped making those promises.
It's a weird paradox because to tell an addict you don't love your family, those are almost fighting words. Bull crap, I don't love my family. But our actions prove otherwise, you know, but it's not like we don't love them. It's a horrible paradox.
Yeah. I agree. Like I just, you know, I used to make the promises and then do things like that. You know, oh, I won't get high. You know, I break those. So I just stopped. I just stopped doing that. Stopped making those promises. You know, like I feel really good today. Like I feel really strong in my recovery, and that's because I work. I work on it every day. I work on it every day. Like thinking about figuring out the step 11 inventory, doing that at night. The step 10?
10.
Step 10 inventory. See,
Yep.
I got to figure out which step it is.
Step 10.
know.
Continue to
Step
take our personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm grateful for in my IOP. Before we transitioned, we had to be able to recite out loud the 12 steps from memory. And if you messed up, you couldn't transition. You had to have them memorized. So I would suggest anybody working the steps, and I think it's just good for life, period. Memorize them because it's important. It's like a phone number. It's better than a phone number to remember.
Let's see. Admitted that we were powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Bam.
We turned our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Admitted the exact nature of our wrongs to another human being. I think I messed that one up just a little bit.
Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs.
Became willing to let go of defects of character. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. What was that? Made a list of persons we had harmed. Became willing to make amends to them. Made direct amends to those unless to do so would injure them or others. No, this one's 10. We just talked about it.
Continue to take
personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11.
Sought through prayer and meditation.
Sought prayer and meditation to enhance our conscious contact with God. Having had a spiritual experiences.
Asking the knowledge of His will for us.
Yeah. See?
And the power to carry it out.
I'm in the book.
It's all good. Jeanette, if you don't know how to use the Discord, maybe I'll throw a little video together. Or if you need come to one of our next Zoom meetings or something, and I'll give a tutorial. The Zoom is where Recovering Addict is really starting to be the meat of our fellowship. We have daily 1 o'clock meetings. It has all the information for our YouTube channel, for our recovery Zoom meetings. It has the chats. It has support. It's where that's where the rubber meets the road, man. Discord is underrated. Facebook page is pretty cool. but Discord's where it's at, man. I'm promoting the crap out of that thing.
Yeah. Like the Discord's awesome. Place to connect, talk to other addicts when you're struggling, chill. But remember, life happens offline. Life happens offline. Because the Discord can become another addiction. You know, spending all day on Discord, neglecting other things. I personally had to take a step back to address things that were sort of falling into disarray because I was distracted.
So, Jim, this is Jake. Jake and I met about 5-6 months ago when I was at SOAR working with them, going through their IOP. Jake and I connected, instantly bonded, and he now has the Thursday night time slot for Recovering Addict. It's his channel right now. I popped in just to help out because I know how tired he is. But that's another thing with Recovering Addict. If you all want to get super involved, you can have a little chapter pop up in your house, in your town. And what that entails is digital. You become moderators on all the stuff. And then you can, if you want to have a personality on stream, you can come and bring a recovery topic once a week, live, any time slot that's available. And right now, we're only going live 3 days a week. So Teeter and Asia are going to be doing one. We're looking at probably Brad eventually, you know, in the future when he's prepared to do so, maybe doing that. And I would like to have enough people join and have live streams to where we can, you know, say 2 years down the road, this is just 24 hours. We got somebody going live. And so it's just constant support for the world.
Yeah, and what about Australia? We got
Des and
a
Sheree.
savvy Canadian surrounded by computer illiterate folks that can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm about to start hounding. Jim says, thanks for being there, Jake.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I don't know what time it is.
10 more minutes.
Okay. Let's
Hey,
get
Kimmy. Sorry we lost you in the Zoom meeting. That sucked. But I'm glad to hear what we heard. All right, you back to the book?
Yeah, let's get through some of this hard stuff.
Okay, I'm out. Peace.
Okay. Again, this one's a little rough. So, some signs a child suffered from early sexual abuse. Parents may be bewildered by the behavior of a child who endured early sexual abuse. If your child was sexually abused early in life, you could encounter flirtatiousness or sexually precocious behavior directed toward caregivers or others. Overt fear of being touched by one or both genders, as shown by jerking away when touched. Fear of walking unaccompanied or being left alone in an unfamiliar place. Infantile or clinging behavior. So, and then symptoms of seizures. It's fairly serious, but still not. Yeah, anyway. We have come to believe that seizures are often undiagnosed in at-risk children. Some symptoms of seizures are the child gets a momentary fixed glare or a blank checked out look, and then suddenly he or she is back. The child's head drops forward for a second and then returns to an upright position. The child's muscle stiffens involuntarily. It's typically spurred by anxiety and mimics aggressiveness. Well, my comments are froze. Mimics aggressiveness. For example, when he encounters something deeply fear-inducing or frustrating in his environment, this type of seizure causes his arm to jut out like a punch. The child has a break in memory, such as leaving for school with a backpack and returning without it, but genuinely cannot recall what happened to it. The child's eyes roll back in the head and the body goes stiff. Now, some signs of fetal alcohol exposure. It is not uncommon to discover that a special needs adopted child was exposed to alcohol in utero. Significant exposure can result in facial anomalies, such as eyelid fissures, absence of the groove above the mouth, and thin lips, stunted growth and small head size, structural malformation of heart, liver, or kidneys, motor problems or seizures, cognitive and functional impairments, hyperactivity, and learning disabilities. Some signs of early abuse, mental or physical. Excuse me. Harsh and abusive early caretaking can lead to a child who displays stunted physical growth, delayed language development, compulsive, self-comforting behaviors such as sucking, biting, or rocking, hyperactive, disruptive, or self-destructive behavior, inhibited play or an unusual fearfulness. Thank you, Brad. Clingy behavior, depression, low self-esteem, aggressive and demanding, controlling, or compliant and passive, dissociative behavior. Clues suggesting neurological damage. Ow. Neurological impairments can be caused by early exposure to toxins. Symptoms of this exposure include hyperactivity and attention problems. Other symptoms may include when given sequential instructions, example given, write your name and then draw your picture. The child has difficulty following instructions, performing the last instruction given and omitting the first. When asked to copy simple drawings of circles or hearts, the child draws convoluted shapes. When drawing a circle, the child draws a quarter circle, turns the paper, draws the next quarter circle, turns the paper, and so on. Next section. Fear is a powerful driver. As you'll learn in the next chapter, many aberrant behaviors are driven by fear and pain. Some children act out, externalize when fearful. Others turn their discomfort inward, internalize. Some do both. Table 3.2 shows the range of fear and pain-driven behavior. So this one is a short one. So how a child expresses fear and pain. Externalizing behaviors, acting out. Irritability, antisocial behaviors, anger, rage, aggression. I'm not sure what the difference between anger and rage is. Internalizing behaviors, acting in. Disassociation, withdrawal, crying, sadness, lethargy, depression. Let's learn the difference between rage and anger. I'm gonna be on my phone for just a moment. Oh, what the hell am I looking at? Oh. Anger versus rage. Versus rage. Do.
I'm muted. Sorry. I have it right here, brother.
Okay.
It says anger is an emotional state of aggression and hostility towards someone or something. Most people tend to think that also describes rage, so they must be the same thing. Rage is excessive anger that is often violent. Rage can be physically violent. See, I think we talk about anger as a character defect too, because right, there's a good anger and a bad anger, right? The anger that leads to rage and violence, or even passive aggressiveness to where you're cold shouldering people is a character defect. But if you have positive anger, which is like, say you run into a child who's been trafficked, the anger that wells up inside you produces justice to where you want to help this kid out of that situation. And that's righteous anger, which is a good thing. And that's all I got.
What do you think about fearlessness? Like, I know it's off topic, but Jeanette asked, well, she commented on fearlessness.
Fearlessness, like less. I don't know. I'd have to kind of dig into deeper, but fearlessness can almost be, I don't know. I was always considered fearless when I was in my teenage years, and I was the guy that would jump off the highest dock to go swim in the highest cliffs. I would do the most outrageous things, and I don't even look at it as I was being fearless, because I still had fear in me, but I was trying to show off, so I was doing it for attention. So I don't know. It could be a stupid thing, in my opinion. That's just.
I think we need more context.
Yeah, more context. You're welcome, Kimmy.
You're very welcome. Like this is important to us. Did you get that message I sent you on TikTok?
Me?
Yeah. I requested that you blind react to that.
Oh, dang it. I didn't see it. Oh, I see a notification.
So by design.
I'll check
blind
it out.
react to it, sucker.
Right now? Okay. All right. So it says New Year. Let's start by thanking our favorite creators.
So it's a new year, and it's time to recognize our favorite TikTokers. If you want someone to get this message, ask them to blind react, and we'll do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, the person who sent this to you wanted you to know something. It's not easy for them to tell you exactly how much you've done for them, but they know that without you, last year would have been it. You have made their life better just by being a part of it. Oftentimes we look at TikTok or social media as a way to pick on people, or a way to make fun of people, or make jokes. You make a difference. Please listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Keep doing what you're doing. They love you in a very, very special way. Please keep continuing doing the same great content, and thank you so much from the bottom of their heart and from my heart for making TikTok a positive place to be. So it's a new year.
I love it. Thank you. Probably blushing.
Like legit.
Thank you, brother. You likewise have made my last year better too.
Oh, fuck him. That was a big deal.
Fearless is as in numb.
Could be there. I don't know. That we might be exploring that.
Awesome. We're glad you're back, Jeff. So glad you're back.
Oh yeah.
Keep pressing forward. That's a good thing to come out and say what you just did. It sounds like you're on the right track. That's like one of the first steps of being on the right track is saying what you said. I'm not sure that I've ever felt fearlessness is numb. Maybe when I'm doing drugs, and it almost is an F it. Like, that's a lot of meth you're about to freaking slam down.
What?
F it. I'm numb. I'm fearless at this moment. Missed you too, bro. Yes.
I don't know. It could just be there could be a lot of fear, and then just like acting fearless could be like a coping, like just a symptom of something.
Send everybody on some love stuff right there, bro.
Yeah.
Got nothing to lose. Fearlessness. Yeah, I've been there. I remember one time I was depressed. I don't know. It's just stupid. But I went through a stoplight with like my hands off the wheel. I was just like, fuck it.
A little Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the effort attitude. Yeah, dude. And connect with us on the Discord, man. You can really get in deep there. We have daily meetings. at 1:00 p.m. If you can't make those, we have the live stream 3 days a week plus Zooms. And now we've opened up a class where we're going through like what you would learn in an IOP. Basically, if you need rehab and you can't afford it, it's not available to you locally, or you don't have insurance, you can come here and get a fire hose worth of information and take notes and understand, like, okay, this is what I got to do. If I was in rehab, this is what they would expect from me. We talk about life stories, drug use history, relapse prevention plans, closing back doors. Plus, we cover all the 12 steps. And that happens on Mondays and Wednesdays. This Monday, we're going to be covering step 3. 100%, Michelle. Well, we better represent Canada if Michelle's watching.
Are we blaming Canada today?
I blame Canada every day.
Every day. Blame Canada.
Though my favorite baseball team is the Toronto Blue Jays. Weird, huh? And the reason, let me explain why. So like 3-4 years ago, really got into baseball. My son Amos was playing comp baseball, right? So we're watching baseball, and I love the knuckleball. That's like my favorite pitch because it takes an average Joe. If you can learn how to throw a knuckleball, it puts an average Joe at MLB level playing, right? And R.A. Dickey played for the Toronto Blue Jays. So I was always watching R.A. Dickey when he pitched, and the Blue Jays became my team.
What's racist?
Blaming Canada.
Oh, I was just quoting a song.
Yeah, go Jays. Suicide attempt at age 17, hung myself, was cut down and smacked. And I was asked, the hell were you doing? I was hanging around. Jeez.
I believe it. I believe that happened.
Dang. Well, that's an hour, brother. What do you want to do? You want me to jump out of here and you keep rolling, or what?
I'm tired.
Yeah, let's roll. You want to say the Serenity Prayer? I'll mute myself so we don't sound all weird.
Yeah. So we ended fear is a powerful driver right after the chart. Just so when I ask next week, if I forget, somebody can call me on it. So God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen. All right, so what we have is the Discord daily meetings now, every freaking day, Saturday and Sunday included, 1:00 p.m. If you do want to host or chair one of these meetings, hit me up in the Discord. We'll put you in the rotation. As it progresses, we'll definitely get a rotation going somewhere in the Discord. Next Monday is a class. We're going through step 3 and all the other stuff we got going on. Jump in the Discord to know everything and get to know us communally. So it's Thursday. We will be back Sunday night for our next live stream and going back through our book, It'll Never Happen to Me. So until then, stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better
together.
Together. I forgot to hit the button. There it is.
Ah!